Hi, it's Jacqueline here again. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I have been on a roll, if you've noticed. I have been talking about how to start your craft group, how to have a craft show, and this video, what I want to touch upon is the mistakes that I have made in the past and kind of a no-no list. And I think that this is pretty valuable information. It might seem basic to some of you if you've been doing a lot of craft shows, but we're right at the time of craft shows for the summer. And I just want you to be ready, and I want you to make as much money as you possibly can. But I want to also not offend you, but to tell you that these are the mistakes that I have experienced either as a vendor myself or as a customer. Now, what qualifies me to even tell you this? This is just my rich opinion, but it is based on some knowledge. What qualifies me is I've been an artist and a crafter for many, many years. I'm old enough to know better by now. And then also I have had I've just been involved with crafts in many ways. I used to represent 26 crafters in a traveling road show. Believe it or not, I am a craft teacher now. I'm a leader of a 12-person craft group. I do crafts on YouTube and all my gift giving and all that. You can go back and see all of my videos. But specifically, what I want to talk about today is let's just play pretend. You are going to be in a craft show. We're going to just assume this is your very first time. So you get yourself all set up and you're all ready to go. The first point, I've got 4 points today. The first point I want to talk to you about is communication. And it's very, very important. This might be the most important of what I really have to say today. And I'm going to come across as the don't do, okay? So you're all set up, you're sitting there, you're waiting for your first customer. I want you to think a little bit about as they cross that line into your booth, that they're coming into your store. If you were a store owner, they've just opened the door and they've walked in. And so what I don't want you to do, I want you to first of all greet them by saying hello, but you don't want to do something like this. And I hear this all the time. It's also scared me right out of a booth. You walk into their little booth, you start looking, and she says, "Hi, how are you today?" And there's kind of this urgency. "Hi, how are you today? Those earrings over there are on sale. They're only $5 each. I put a lot of time into them and making them, and they're a really good buy. And over here, I have these pot holders, and, my grandma made them, and blah, 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 blah." So first of all, your customer hasn't even had a chance to say hello back to you. And the other thing is you're over talking so much that it's probably making them uncomfortable. And they feel like they're being watched and talked to and that they have to respond to you. This is what I do. When they walk into my booth, I look up and I just softly say, "Hello." And that's it. That's it. I let them look around and let them browse. Certainly, if they ask me questions, I will answer the question. I might say something eventually if they stay in about 2 or 3 minutes. I might say, "I notice you've been looking at the earrings. Do you like them?" Just wait for the answer. "Are you shopping today for a gift or for yourself?" And just wait for the answer. The pregnant pause is just absolutely wonderful versus the hard sell or even the soft sell or the attack. Okay, if they want something, they will buy something from you. I guarantee you. You never want to offend them. You never want to scare them away. And I'll tell you why. If you're like me, especially at the Christmas season, I go around to a lot of craft shows. I'm at one every weekend, not doing craft shows anymore, but actually shopping at craft shows. And so if I didn't buy something from you the first time, then I may be back. And what you want to hear from a customer is like, "Oh, there's the gal that made jewelry. Oh, great. I really need something for grandma," or whatever. And it draws you back and she remembers you and she remembers you're friendly and you're not a hard sale. So communication is really, really good. The next thing I'm going to talk about is being on time for your show and not leaving early. We need to have a lot of respect and, like a spirit of gratitude that we have been invited into that show. Sometimes it's a juried show. Sometimes you have just said, may I be in it, and paid a fee. It's really important. If that show starts at 9:30, you be ready. Like, don't be late. Don't be unboxing your stuff while the show is open. Be ready. Be ready to sell and to just enjoy your day. Now, on the other end of the day, say, for example, wouldn't it be great if you just sold out? I mean, 3:30 comes along, you are sold out. How exciting. What I don't want you to do is start packing up your stuff. Be prepared if you do sell out, or you are short on product because it's sold, to just sit there and make some more jewelry. We're just going to use jewelry as an example. Whatever you're making, do your craft. People will look and see that you're sold out. Sometimes the greatest sales are the ones that are pretty close to sold out and there's just a little bit left on the table. People will still come in, but what you don't want to do is get up, pack up, get your bins out, be all busy loading up a car while the show is still going on. If you do that, unless you have prior approval, you are probably not going to be invited back to that show. And you want to be invited back. That whole game of gossip, it goes really far. And you don't want a bad reputation in your arts and crafts community. The other thing that's really important is, please, if you're going to have lunch, okay, go somewhere else if you're able. It's really great to have a buddy with you that can watch the booth. Sometimes the vendor next door to you will keep an eye on your booth, and sometimes sales happen when nobody is there, right? So if somebody can watch your booth, get up, go and have a stretch, go and have your lunch in your car, go somewhere else, go look around and support other vendors, do anything but sitting behind and eating your sandwich or your milkshake or your burger. We don't want those smells around there. And the impression is, oh, she just made all these beautiful aprons and pot holders and she's eating back there and I can smell that soup and I don't like it. It'll just shoo them literally right out of your booth. And also don't have your water bottles and your coffee cup and all of that sitting on your display. And I know that this seems really basic when I'm saying this. You might be going, oh, of course I wouldn't do that. And of course you probably wouldn't. But there's some people that they haven't thought about these things and they are important. Another thing is if you have lighting, let's go and talk about display a little bit. If you have the opportunity to be able to plug in a lamp, or you can have some music going in your booth, get it rolling. I mean, if it's only a $5, $10 more or something, get it going and light up your booth. It's very attractive when you have that very soft music. And I mean soft music, playing, or that you have lamps on, especially if you're selling lamps, right? So the display is really, really important. If you have a card rack versus putting cards in a basket or something on the table, a card rack is a pull. People go over to a card rack and they turn it around and around and around, and they might go around 2 or 3 times looking for a greeting card. They didn't even plan to buy a greeting card, but you got cute stuff. Make sure that you put sleeves on your paper goods. If it's a tag, a bag, anything that's paper that dirty hands when touched would ruin that product, make sure to have that sleeve on there. It's really, really important. Also, a little bit about display. For years, I made some bunnies, and they were large bunnies. And if you have dolls, bunnies, Raggedy Anns, whatever, bears, make sure that you get some stands and put those stands on the back shelving so they're sitting back. And what I want you to do is put the biggest stuff at the back, the largest picture, the largest whatever it is, and then build forward or build down. And it's great to put things that don't break, like painted rocks or keychains or macrame bracelets or whatever, in baskets down below on your table. That's great. Another good idea if you're selling magnets is to put them on a cookie sheet. It's just so easy. Put a cookie sheet, find a way that you can prop it up or put it on a stand. If you're selling brooches or pins or something with a pin back, you know what I do? I get some cool old black or dark blue vintage pillows. It doesn't have to be vintage. It can be anything you want, but I pin those on the actual pillow and it displays just great. I've got a lot of display ideas, and maybe in my following video I will be doing that. Excuse me. And be a good subject to talk about some display ideas, and maybe you will have some that you can drop in comments. So let me just check my notes. We talked about the communication. Oh, one thing I wanted to say that's really important is if you have a buddy there and you're talking as people are shopping, which is great, make sure to do two things, or I should say don't do this. Don't start whispering to your friend. It makes people really uncomfortable. And please, one of the things I've learned as a customer is don't talk about hot subjects. Don't talk about how somebody screwed you over or some political thing or, whatever is a hot subject. Keep your conversation with your person that's there, whether it's your child, your husband, your friend, whatever. Make it positive, just really positive, and just talk normal. You don't want to get the impression that you're whispering. Also, if you have issues with theft, you have to find a way that you can keep your eye on your booth without following people around or being very evasive. You also don't want to say, please don't pick that up or something like that. If you have things that you shouldn't pick up that are delicate, like porcelain dolls or something, they should be in some sort of a case. That's actually not the customer's problem. That's your problem, because you have brought something that could get broken and they are just shopping. It's window candy. They are having fun and they want a touchy, or it's possible that a child would be touching. And then the last thing I would say is make sure you get yourself signed up with Venmo or Square or something. Don't ever assume that everybody has cash, because they don't. The greatest sales I have had is because I had Venmo. And I've done this at flea markets, antique booths, craft fairs, you name it, swap meets, whatever I have done. I've always had that Venmo, but there's other ones. There's Zelle and there's all kinds of other things. But get yourself something like that so that people can actually buy for you. Because if they say, oh, let me go to the cash machine, or I got to go to my car to get, cash, or whatever they say, the likelihood of them coming back is pretty slim. I'm not, I don't have the stats of what that is, but sometimes they just disappear and you don't want to lose, a customer, that's for sure. And then the other thing I just want to touch on is price tags. Make sure that your price tags are showing. That's a really good idea, and it helps to have, prevent people from picking up items. So that's my tips for today. My next video is going to be some painted pots. That's what we're doing. They're easy, they're fun. I'll be downloading that video probably later today, and it's a demo if you would like to look. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Happy that you're here. I'm Jacqueline, Calamity Crafty Home. See you next time.